Hi, hello, and welcome. And today we're back with more Riftbound reveals. It is Wednesday on June 25th of 2025. I believe that this might be our last day of really big reveals because the next couple of days that are set to reveal cards, so next Friday or this upcoming Friday, and then next Monday, there's only supposed to be like one person showing off cards. So I don't know if that means that they're slowing down or there's just gonna be one person showing a lot more, or the Riftbound Twitter account themselves will be showing a lot more. I don't know what that means. We'll see. But right now we have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards to show off, and 2 of these cards have two different artworks. And so we'll just get right into it. Now, I will say before I start this video that a lot of these cards are very specific. I think they fill very niche roles in certain decks, and so I won't be commenting too much on what I think they're going to be good in, because I think some of these cards are going to be better later in the format or closer to when we have the full picture of the whole origin set. Is I don't want to be like, oh, let's theory craft. I will give my opinion, of course, but a lot of these cards are very niche, or they're for like Teemo, or they're for like some kind of purple vision or blue vision deck. And so we'll see how these cards work out, but let's just get right on into it. And so first we have Viktor. He is a 4 energy, 1 power, 3 might card. This is the innovator, so this is finally the blue Viktor, and his ability states that when you play a card on your opponent's turn, play a 1 might recruit unit token to your base. This is a very simple card. It's kind of like the opposite of his yellow Viktor, because it's the exact same cost, I'm pretty sure, right? 4 energy, 1 power, I'm pretty sure that's also yellow Viktor. But with yellow Viktor, if you don't know, I'll put up on screen. Yellow Viktor is when a non-recruit unit token dies, you can basically play 1 might recruit unit token. Pretty simple, and he's very good. I usually like to get Viktor out early on just because of that ability alone. Try to keep him alive as long as I can to get as much value as possible off of that, especially if I know I'm going to do a big push and a couple of my cards will die. Viktor will only help to do that. At least you're going to go some kind of type of positive, even if you lose monsters, right? But blue Viktor is a little bit more interesting because this is more of a counter spell, or like just a spell slinger type of art type of card, because you want to play cards on your opponent's turns. You need to save up the runes for it. Targon Peak maybe for certain decks that use this a lot. Viktor himself, like I said, I'm not going to comment too much on what decks I think these can be used in. But off the top of my head, basically just, of course, Viktor's going to want this. I don't know if he's going to want 3 of them. He might run like 2, because it is very, you have to get the yellow spells in hand, then you have to have pay the rune costs on your opponent's turn. Maybe do some hidden cards, because that counts as being played on your opponent's turn. But overall, I think this card's okay. It at the end of the day, it only gives you 1 might recruit token. So for characters like Viktor, maybe even Teemo, I could see this being okay on. I want to go comment on like Kaisa or Ari, because I don't know if they really care about this. I think a lot of their decks are kind of already full with some of the best spell cards in the game, even if you play those spell cards on your enemy's turn. I don't know if they're going to want to play Viktor, especially because the 1 might recruit tokens don't do much for them unless they clear the battlefield and then like move in to capture with 1 might recruit token, which I don't really see. Maybe Kaisa kinda, but Kaisa has some of the best cards in the game right now. I don't think, or she's getting better. I don't see anyone besides Teemo and Viktor being able to play this. We'll see how that is. I think Teemo, with these cards that are currently coming, I'm about to tell you about, I think Teemo has gotten to a lot better this like Leona, like last week or last Monday, was kind of like a Leona theme kind of thing with a lot of green cards. I think this reveal day is purple and blue. Is very much Teemo focused for sure. I think a lot of these cards work with Teemo a lot, and that just makes Teemo better. And right now, Teemo was kind of like underpowered really hard. He was kind of just like trolly with his head and stuff, but I think he's gonna get a lot better once we get close to the final product of like Origins, and we see with the set as a whole. So next up is an interesting one, which is Malzahar finally. Malzahar Fanatic. He is a 4 energy for 3 might. His ability reads, kill a friendly unit or gear, exhaust me, and then his action is add 2 power. And of course you cannot react to abilities that add resources. You cannot react to it. So it's add 2 power of any color, but you have to kill a friendly unit or gear and then exhaust him. For me, this automatically screams Viktor. You can use some of the some of the biggest spell cards in the game by using Malzahar, or at least get to them a lot cheaper. I believe the blue spell card is untapped power, the 7 energy for 2 blue power, that wipes basically the whole board. It does like 12 damage, I believe, to the whole board. Super good card. I think Malzahar allows that to be, be a lot better, because it says just kill a friendly unit. You can kill a token, then use, get the 2 power from that. I think though, Teemo, they're clearly trying to buff Teemo, or at least give Teemo more power in this these reveals today. I for sure see Teemo using this, and I'm not even gonna comment on Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa's deck is getting close to completion, and maybe this finds a place in it, because she does play a lot of powerful spells, and sometimes I find myself using Kai'Sa, using a spell, then needing to use more power, needing more power, and I don't want to have to recycle. So maybe this eventually finds its way into Kai'Sa, but like I said, I'm not commenting too much, because this is a very niche card. You do have to kill a friendly unit, and that sucks for the most part, unless you're playing a token deck or some kind of deck that runs a lot of low energy, low might creatures that you don't care about. Or like I said, in purple, if you can kill it off very fast and just be like, those cards come back from the grave, or they have death nil or whatever else it might be. And that's another thing with Viktor, they have a lot of death nil with order, so we'll see what comes of Malzahar. Let's go on to the next chaos champion unit, that is Nocturne the Horrifying. He is a 4 energy, 1 might for 4 energy for 1 power and 4 might. And he has ganking, which just means he can move from battlefield to battlefield. And it says, when you look at cards from the top of your deck and don't draw them and see me, you may play me for 1 power. And let me just go look real quick. I forget the card. It's a blue spell card. Yes, there is Promising Future. So Promising Future states, I'll put it up on screen, each player looks at the top 5 cards of their main deck, choose one, then recycle the rest. Starting with the next player, each player plays those cards, ignoring energy costs. So this is clearly supposed to be working with future, Promising Future. Look at the top in Vision. Also, there's a blue card, I forget her name, Seeker or something. She gives everyone vision, so you can look at the top card of your deck. So very clearly Nocturne's supposed to be used within those decks, and the only deck right now that can use purple and blue is Teemo. And I think this is a good thing. I think Teemo wants to be able to play hidden cards. He wants to see what's hidden cards he needs for what he needs for the time being. I think a lot of Promise Future is already good in Teemo, and I think Nocturne is just going to be a good card, because let's just think about this. 1 power for 4 might is a really good trade-off. I think that's a very worthwhile trade. Yeah, I think if you have 3 Promising Futures, 3 of those Seekers, or 2 of those Seekers, or whatever combination you want, you could have 2 or 3 Nocturnes and be able to reliably summon this out. And it's just 4 energy beater for only 1 power. And you're going to have to pay that 1 power anyway to summon it if you were going to summon it the normal way. So I think it just works out better that way. I think it's a unique card. Like I said, these cards are really filling a certain niche, and I don't hate that, but it is what it is. We'll see when the full set comes out what it's going to feel like. Now let's move on to the actual Teemo card. So this is blue Teemo finally. We do have purple Teemo already, and purple Teemo is already kind of fun. I think right now Teemo is just a really fun deck, especially if you're playing in a free-for-all, like a 4-player match or a 3-player free-for-all. I don't know how good Teemo is reliably for 1v1s and versus gameplay, but I think he's a lot of fun. I think that kind of fits the theme of the character from League as well. He's kind of like a fucking troll, right? He's for sure a troll, so I'm curious to see how blue Teemo helps him. So first off, he is a 2 energy for 1 power and 2 might. And mind you, the photo I have is kind of blurry. I think they posted a new high-res version of these cards, so I'm just gonna do my best to read it real quick. It says hidden, of course you can hide it, or it says when I defend or I'm played from hidden, reveal the top 5 cards of your main deck, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit here for each card with hidden, then recycle them. So clearly, once again, this works with Nocturne perfectly. It says when I defend or play from hidden, so that means you can trap people with it, or you can just defend with it. And depending on how many hidden cards you have in your deck, and mind you, I think we're getting a lot more hidden cards throughout the reveal of the set. And so I think eventually Teemo will run probably more than half of his deck with hidden cards, and just use Teemo's shrooms and him just to really mess up your opponent. Yeah, I think of course with Nocturne, this makes the card even better. It's only 2 energy for 1 might, and mind you, Teemo's ability is that if you pay 1 rune or pay 1 energy and then you exhaust Teemo, you can put a Teemo unit you own into your hand from the champion from your champion board or the board. So it just helps with using his hidden ability, and clearly this will probably be a hidden card as well. You probably want to you probably want to recycle this back to your hand as much as possible using your Teemo legend, and then you want to put it back on the battlefield for people to walk over, and then you can do some fun stuff with it using your hidden cards from the top of your deck. Now I don't know. I think Purple Teemo is still a little bit better. I think I should say Purple Teemo is better overall, but I think this card is a good card to have. I think you'll probably run 3 of each. I think it's a very rare situation where you probably want to run both of these champion unit for your legends in the same deck. Sometimes you'll see like a combination of 3-2 or just outright just only playing one of them. So I think this is for sure a 3 of both, and maybe a 3-2 at least. But I could see the 2 Teemo champion units are just too good. And of course, there's also 2 skins here. There's the normal strategist, which is 6 more vodka, so it's Legends of Runeterra art, and then the other one is the army Teemo, or like the Spec Ops Teemo, the one people always play if they they want to be dark and edgy on League. Cute card, good card. I always like Legends of Runeterra art more, but overall I think this card will be good. It has a purpose. And I think for Teemo players are very happy. I can already can tell you, if you go into Piltover Archive and you start looking through their decks, I can guarantee you Teemo players are already updating their decks and like theory crafting on how to make him better. And then finally, we have an interesting one. That this is a blue spell. So once again, Teemo, Viktor, Ari, and Kaisa. And it says it can be played as a hidden, or you can react with it. But it's 4 energy. And the only ability on it is draw 2 cards. So it's 4 energy for draw 2. Or if you are playing Teemo, it's technically only 1 rune for draw 2, which is a big plus. I mean, this is a 3 of in Teemo. It's cheap. You get to draw 2 cards, and like, yeah, you might, if you're playing Nocturne, it might suck because you might get them in your hand, which you don't want. But for like just draw power, even in a deck 4 energy for 2 cards is not that bad. Like, yeah, you're going somewhat negative on it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But with Teemo, you only needing to to do 1 rune to hide it, and then you get to draw 2 cards on the next turn. I think this is a good trade-off. I think you'll probably see this for to get Teemo just ramping and starting get Teemo going in a match. I love this card though, because we don't really have that many draw cards. Like, we have like, oh, if your unit dies, draw a card, things like that. But this is our first true like a ramp draw. Like, this is just straight up just draw 2. There's no like recycle 1, none of that. It's just draw 2. So we'll see if they make more cards like this in the future, see how many cards they make with draw on it. But I think for Teemo, for being a hidden card or a hidden spell, I think this is just fine for 1 rune for draw 2. It's a positive at that point. But I couldn't really see just too many decks running this, because it is 4 energy just to draw 2. Like I said, maybe if you you don't have any other cards to put in your deck, maybe like Kaisa or something puts this in, just like to like make the deck a little bit more consistent, getting the cards that you want out of it. But for right now, Teemo for sure. I mean, this is just a Teemo day. I mean, with the the new blue Teemo, Consult the Past plus Nocturne, I think this has just been a Teemo day for sure. I mean, I'm very happy to those players. I don't play Teemo, or I haven't really played Teemo yet. I'm maybe just for these cards, I'll play it and see how it works out, but we'll see. But as always, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, or if you have any strategies with these cards already in mind, please let me know in the comments below. Of course, I'll be reacting to the cards on Friday. I'm trying to get a couple other videos planned for after the reveals, because right now I think the reveals are just fine for my channel. But eventually I do want to start doing more things, such as like doing like gameplay, doing deck profiles, talking about the legends and how you are supposed to play them. But as of right now, the reveals are the only thing on my channel every other day. The next one will be on Friday. So thank you for staying here. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Peace out.